Hey everybody, this is Tim Allen from Tooltime Talk, and today we have a special episode. But before we get started, I just wanted to remind everybody: don't forget John Casey, Ride to Ride Out Cancer on Facebook. Go check him out. Hit like, follow him. He's got a big bike, Kids for Bikes coming up, and he's looking for donations for that. Super great guy. Like I said again, the man's dealing with cancer right now and he's more worried about others. So again, Ride to Ride Out Cancer on Facebook. Check him out. So today I have a very special guest with me. Travis Dufour is with me today. He is, we all grew up watching wrestling. So me and my cousins used to play in my aunt's garage. We'd take an old mattress and we would play out the WWF, and now it's called WWE, I think, right?
Yeah.
It got rid of WWF, but we used to play that out. We used to be the Ultimate Warrior, Junkyard Dog, you name it, we played it. A lot of people grew up with wrestling. So Travis is actually, we're here in Martinsburg, West Virginia, and Travis is actually comes from wrestling. Me and him talked right before this. We talked a little bit. He's was 15 years in wrestling. It's not the WWE or the WWF or CS. What's the other one called?
There's AEW
AEW.
currently.
Yeah, it's not that, but Travis is going to tell us all about it today. And they're also wrestling tomorrow night. He's going to tell you a little bit about that, and he's going to tell you how to find them. So I'm going to ask Travis some questions, and Travis is going to probably ask me some questions. We're just going to talk. So this is a great thing about Tool Time Talk is we just sit down, see what people are doing and how they do it, and how's it going for them. So Travis, tell us a little bit about who is Travis. So
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me. I heard your first episode. I thought it was very well put together, and
thank you, thank
I
you.
immediately asked you if I could be on it. So this is
Yeah.
cool. Um, but yeah, you touched on it there for a second. I was in the business for 15 years, and I just recently am no longer an active wrestler due to something we can touch base on at some point. I hurt my neck in the ring, which put me out. But it defines my life, my entire life. My earliest memories of life is pro wrestling. So
Yeah.
obviously, dedicate my whole life to it.
All right.
And
And where is it? Who is it you're wrestling for? Or who are you? You're
currently,
Yeah, you're commentating now, right?
yeah,
So who is it for now?
sure, that is the World Domination Wrestling Alliance. They are based in Martinsburg, West Virginia. They run shows out of 605B Winchester Avenue every other Saturday. I think it's the second and fourth Saturday of the month they run shows. So please absolutely catch the guys who are out there currently, because there's a lot of great athletes out there right now.
Yeah, we were talking about it, and I'm going to post up at the end here, like I always do, some of their channels, where they're located at, their name. But I also wanted to know, when I was growing up, we used to watch wrestling, and when I was younger, we would just be in awe, like the blood, the broken bones, the. But then as you got older, you kind of said, well, a lot of this is staged. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I still have friends that really think it's for real. But uh, you can really get hurt by
Ah.
doing this. Like you said, you had a neck injury. Okay, we used to jump around on mattresses and do this, and every now and then it hurt. I mean, so as a wrestler, so you were a wrestler. So I always wanted to ask you, wrestler, do you call it a sport or do you call it entertainment?
Sure, sure. Well, it all depends on who you ask. Every pro wrestler will tell you something different, but I absolutely 1000% believe it's entertainment. It is theater, the most physical theater that there is. So that's how I'd answer that.
Yeah, but hitting that mat's not just like falling on pillows. That's a mat. I mean, you got to hit it right. So you have to make sure you practice. Uh, Make sure you stay in some type of shape.
Oh yeah,
If you want to be any good at it, you have to be in really good shape. So in a way, it's sports theater, I guess you could call it,
sure.
because there is a lot I see in it. And more I talk to you, the more and more I realize that it's a sports theater. I've never called it that before, but I can kind of see that where it is like that. So everybody has when I was growing up, there was Hulk Hogan was a big thing. But like I was telling you, when I worked in Louisville, Kentucky, where our plant was, there was another plant behind us, and it was where Jerry the King Lawler started out wrestling on Saturdays in
Wow.
Louisville, Kentucky. And there's a lot of everybody that lives in Kentucky and Louisville, Kentucky knows that there's a lot of rich wrestling history there.
Oh yeah.
So back, let's go back then. And Jerry the King Lawler, he was a good guy one time. He was a bad guy one time. Hulk Hogan was a good guy. Then he was a bad guy. Then with WCW, I think, and he was another bad a villain. They call it, I guess. Everybody has a role. Like they play something. So how many different roles have you had to play?
Sure. For the majority of my career, me being 6 feet 5 inches tall, with red hair, the whole 9 yards, it is hard. If you can believe this, it's hard for me to get a crowd to cheer for me. So I spent the majority of my career being the bad guy, playing the heel, as we call it in the wrestling industry, which I love.
Yeah.
And truth be told, for my first 6 or 7 years, I just played a model, very generic character. There
Yeah.
wasn't too much depth to it. But what I found was that there was no, I'm not sure if I could talk about this on your show.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
there wasn't any like gay wrestlers
Right.
out there
Yeah.
at the time. It was about 2012. So me and a tag partner, we started doing a tag team where we were two. We never came out and just said it, but we were like best friends that were very close, you know.
Yeah.
And our tag team name was Starlight Gaze. Gaze spelled Gaze, so it's kind of a play on words. We had a
Yeah.
lot of fun with it.
Hey, why not?
A lot of promoters saw it and they would book us. We got to wrestle all over the East Coast as this tag team. The most success I've ever had in a tag team is from this team. Me and Tyler Caton, shout out to Tyler.
Yeah.
He's another one who's actually still out there wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So that's where I was going. I mean, I, I could see where you could get a lot of stuff from people over it, but you know what? It's the theater of wrestling that catches most people. I mean, if you go back and look at Jake the Snake, he wasn't in great shape,
No.
but he had a good storyline.
Yeah.
Uh,
He could talk.
yeah, he could. He was a good
Hmm.
talker, and he had a snake. I mean,
Hmm.
every kid like and Jim
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean
With the
he
two by
was
four.
with a 2x4. He was not in good shape, but it was a good storyline. But then you had
Yeah.
like The Rock and Stone Cold. I mean, very chiseled bodies, so I could
Yeah.
understand how they really stick out and they could really make a career out of that. But so going back to kind of like what the roles you had to play, so that was a really good role for you. Was you ever made to do anything that you were like, I don't want to do this? Like,
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, in my early years, I would do anything to get onto a show,
right,
anything.
right.
There was a promoter in Berkeley Springs, and he wanted me to play a yeehaw trucker type gimmick. He renamed me Jake Break. He called me the trucker Jake Break. And now, by no stretch of the imagination have any knowledge of trucking or
Yeah,
anything like
right, right,
that.
right,
So obviously, it fell flat.
right.
But
Well, if you don't know your character, it's going to be hard to play it.
yeah,
So,
definitely the edgiest character I've ever played, which had people waiting outside of the building to physically get
hmm,
involved with me,
right.
was I played a Scientologist. That was very eye-opening. Whenever you involve religion in wrestling
Yeah,
and you start blurring those lines, there's fans who, like you said,
yeah,
believe it. They
yeah,
see it and they believe it.
right.
And there was a couple people waiting outside of a building out in Hedgesville Fire Hall for me one time. That's whenever you got to take the back door, you got to figure out a way out.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing how people they get wrapped up in it. And when I was a kid, I really got wrapped up in it. And it's a multi-million, billion-dollar industry. I tell me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna go out on a leg here. I kind of see the wrestling that you're involved in right now is is wrestling. But the way I see it is, I compare it to what I know, baseball. You have the minor leagues
Yeah,
and you have the major leagues.
sure.
So you guys, and I respect the crap out of the minor leagues because they have to go out there, get paid a little bit of nothing, take buses, live, share rooms, and then go play a game that everybody thinks, oh, they're making millions. No, they're not.
Yeah.
They're trying to get to the big leagues. I look at what you guys are doing right now, like in West Virginia and Louisville and all over the United States. You're like in the minor leagues of wrestling right now. You're trying to get your name out there, get that big shot, and go to the World Wrestling Federation, one of the big ones, and make that payday.
Hmm.
Would you agree it's like the same thing?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's a tough business where only the tough survives.
Mm.
I've seen people not make it through their first day of training. It is absolutely, it holds its weight in being a tough business. And especially for somebody like me at my size, whenever I broke into the wrestling business, I got a little bit of weight on me now. But whenever I broke in at 18 years old, you know, I didn't go to a trade school, didn't go to college. I found a wrestling school and just dived right in. I was about 135 pounds, soaking
Wow.
wet at 6'5". So, I
Wow.
mean, you're talking about a pole.
Yeah.
And people saw that and they would think, well, this guy doesn't look like a wrestler. We're going to try to break him.
All right.
So I had many people take advantage of me, and it was not an easy upbringing.
Right. Right.
I have the respect now.
Yeah.
You know, if you see me go into a building now, people know me, they've seen my work, and they respect me.
So 15 years.
Yeah,
That's a long time.
but entering in, oh man.
It's hard,
I don't
right?
know if I would have made the same decision now. You know, looking back, you know, I've had broken ribs. My neck was, you know, it's never been officially looked at by a doctor, but I've had chiropractors tell me that it is messed up.
Yeah.
Um, but I would say that it's been worth it. You know,
Yeah.
not everybody gets to live their childhood dream. I mean,
No,
and
no.
I,
I mean, that's what I said. I mean, I remember growing up, and my cousin Jason JT can tell you, we were literally wrestling nuts. Like,
yeah,
we got the TV on, the popcorn, and then as soon as it's over, we're in the bedroom, like throwing each other around, jumping off the chairs on the bed. And I mean, I'm surprised none of us got killed back
hmm
then. But it was,
I have an older
it
brother.
was
Yeah,
like,
he tested out all the moves we saw.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you've seen a move on wrestling on TV, you're without a doubt going to try it
Hmm.
on your brother or your cousin or your friend. And you're like, hey, oh, that don't really work. Here, come here, let me show you.
Yeah.
It's amazing though how it has evolved, and it's just amazing to me. So my next question to you is, what's the biggest, like when you guys have a show and you look out in the crowd, what just brightens your day? Like, what's the biggest thing that makes it worth it all?
Well, the bigger the crowd, the better.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, well, it's actually annually held every year in Altoona, Pennsylvania, at the Curve, which is a minor league baseball stadium.
Mm-hmm.
They hold wrestling, you know, twice a year or so.
Wow.
And I got to wrestle in front of a couple thousand people, and they put my matchup on the big screen, on, you know, on the screen that you
Yeah.
see at these stadiums. So you know, I'm on the mat looking up and I can see myself on the TV. There's never been a bigger moment for me where I thought I made it.
Yeah, and then you got the kids. Like,
Yeah,
no matter what, where you're at in your career, like you could be the rookie. I call it the rookie. You could be the that nobody's talking about. The
yeah,
kids are like, "Can I get your autograph?"
yeah,
I see
yeah,
it all the time,
yeah.
because I'm older, and it kind of like, well, that's just I don't even know that guy, but they don't
Mhm.
care. They're like, and it's the same way at the minor league ballpark. A lot of these people they don't know, they're like, "Can I get your autograph?" But the kids, I mean, it's amazing watching how the kids take to it, and so the one thing you did touch on that I should have asked you when you did, but a lot of people may not know this. I knew this because of being growing up being a man or a boy and then growing into a man, but you have to go to wrestling school.
Yes.
So what is that like?
Well, there's now everybody gets into the wrestling business differently. What I ended up doing was there's where I live is in Martinsburg, West Virginia, and there was a school for the longest time in Hagerstown, Maryland, about 15-minute drive.
Mhm.
But as a teenager going to the House of Pain shows, that's what it was called.
Mhm.
Um, Going to their shows, I would always hear stories about people getting, heckled and people getting beat up, people getting broken trying to enter into the
Yeah.
wrestling business. So I
Right.
said, not me. I found a different promotion that was 2 hours away, and they had on their website a little tab that said wrestling school. So me and my buddy clicked that, and we messaged them, sent them an email, and they said all you got to do is show up before the shows, help set up, and the quicker you get the ring up, the more time you have to train. So I mean,
Nice.
I'm telling you what, just for 6 months, a handful of shows, I paid a little bit of money. Got in the ring beforehand, got the snot kicked out of me. Really, didn't pay. In hindsight, I didn't pay as many dues to get into the business because, in it 6 months. And then I went ahead and just started taking shows. I
Right.
started
Right.
trying to get booked on shows.
Right.
My trainers didn't agree with that. I had a falling out with them. And, they told me, don't show your face around here no more. I'm 18 years old. You can't tell me nothing.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
I go ahead and start trying to find shows. The second match I ever had was what in the wrestling business call a death match, which is light tubes,
Wow.
barbed
Yeah.
wire. It's
You name it.
no holds barred. There's a lot of stuff that goes on. So I'm telling you, I wanted to be a part of the wrestling business really bad. I stopped training at this place because they only did it once a month.
Yeah.
And as a kid, as an 18-year-old guy, I felt like I knew it all.
Yeah. You
And
knew everything. We
yeah,
all know everything. That's for sure.
yeah. I
So
definitely should have spent more time training though.
right. 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 So before we go, I want to thanks Travis for coming on. Travis, tell us tomorrow. Is there wrestling tomorrow in Martinsburg?
Yeah, tomorrow, I'm not sure of the date. I don't even know what today is, but tomorrow and
So tomorrow would be the 13th.
okay, the 13th. Now you can look up this promotion on Facebook.
Yeah.
The promotion is called World Domination Wrestling Alliance. Like I said, every 2 weeks they have a show, and the doors open at 7 o'clock tomorrow. And my role with this company, I think we said this earlier, I'm just
Yeah.
commentary.
Commentary.
I
Right.
come out, I sit down at a desk, and I talk about what's happening in the ring. That's all I do.
Like Mean Gene Oakland.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he did interviews. I'm more of like trying to name somebody that you might know. Gorilla Monsoon.
Soon. Yeah, everybody knows Gorilla Monsoon.
Yeah.
So that's cool though, but you're still there in the action. So I will put all this up on the video where it's at tomorrow. I'll put the name of their organization. I'll put Travis has a YouTube channel. The wrestling has a YouTube channel. You can go watch Travis when he used to wrestle. I've watched it myself.
There's
I went and
pages
checked it
and
out.
pages of stuff on YouTube. Search Travis Dufour.
Dufour, yeah. I've actually looked it up. Also, too, don't forget to look up Tooltime Talk. Follow, like, and share. It keeps growing. We're having a lot of fun. And this is a dream of mine. I sit here. I get to talk to Travis. And other people. I get to figure out. You know what? As a kid, I loved wrestling, and I meet this guy Travis, and he was in wrestling for 15 years. Yeah, he wasn't on a pay-per-view, but these guys probably took more hard knocks than the guys that are on pay-per-view. But he did. Now he's had me change my mind on what I call wrestling. Now I call it sports entertainment because that is still a sport. Because when I
Yeah.
think about it, these guys are getting thrown around. This cannot be easy on anyone. So again, go to Facebook, Instagram, and my YouTube. All is Tool Time Talk. So I appreciate everyone joining in today. Don't forget about John Casey and Ride to Ride Out Cancer. He's dealing with his cancer right now, but he don't even care about himself. All he's worried about right now is the people that he's trying to help out. Uh, Also, don't forget, if you live in Martinsburg, West Virginia, tomorrow, downtown Martinsburg is the big Veterans Parade at 1 p.m. So bring your kids, come out, bring your American flag, support your troops, and Me and my wife are actually going to do the chill on a motorcycle and join in the parade. That ought to be a lot of fun. But it's a great cause. Like I always said in my last video, love your neighbor, love the people around you. Let's stop the hate. That's a big thing in the world right now. Let's love each other and quit hating each other. So till next time, and Travis, thanks a lot. I appreciate you coming on, and we will check. You know what I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come visit you at the wrestling ring. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I want to do this. I want to go watch this, and I'll shoot some videos to show everybody, where it's at and what it's like, and I think it's gonna be it's fun. It's got me excited about wrestling again.
Very cool. You'll have a
Yeah,
blast.
yeah, and I'll let you guys know when I'm going. Y'all join us. I mean, come down and watch them. Support these guys. They're out there have breaking their neck just for you guys, for all of us, is all of our entertainment.
For
Because
the love of the game.
yeah, and I know right now it's not like they're making a ton of money doing it.
No.
But that's the main thing is they're doing it for the love of it. Kids that never grew up. That's the way I look at
Follow
it.
your dreams.
Yeah,
I don't care what you do. I don't care what your dream is.
follow it.
Follow it. You have to do it.
I totally agree. I totally agree. All right, so everybody, till next time, Tool Time Talk. See you next time. Again, thanks everyone for watching Tool Time Talk, and thank you, Travis, for joining us today. And don't forget to like, share, and follow on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and now TikTok, all under Tool Time Talk. Until next time, love one another and stay classy. Talk to you soon.